Fitchburg. You are tuning in to WXPL 91.3 Fitchburg State Radio. Specifically, you are tuning in to Sidereel, where we are celebrating Scoobtober. My name is Matt.
My name is Matt.
His name is Matt. We are the Matts.
Welcome to the ASMR channel.
Tune in to our other show, M&M in the Morning, which will never happen because we can't wake up that early.
Nope.
It is not.
Waking up before 9 is illegal.
Oh, yeah. It is not humanly possible to do that sort of thing. Big rip to our career paths, I guess. I don't know.
Our future in radio.
Our future in radio.
Hey, man, you said it yourself in class today. That internship thing just didn't hold up.
You're right.
Living out in the streets eating rats.
Yeah, that'll be me in a couple months. You wait and see.
Rat burgers.
All right. As with many of our Scoobtober awnings and goings, we got to review 7 movies tonight.
That's a lot of movies.
It is a lot of movies.
Most of which I read the synopsis for.
Yeah, because Matt was scared to watch Scooby-Doo this week.
Nah, I was just tired.
He played video games instead.
Exactly.
Matt.
My favorite tired activity.
Yeah. I wish I could play video games.
I mean, you can.
I can't.
Yeah, you can.
I can't. I don't have time.
Sure you do. Make time.
I have a living to make. A living as a street rat.
Eating rats.
Eating rats as a street rat. Our first movie tonight is Scooby-Doo, Mask of the Blue Falcon. And for those who grew up in the 80s might recognize that title, specifically the Blue Falcon. He was a superhero back in the day.
He was a dude.
He was a dude being a dude, saving the day with his
dude
sidekick.
with his dog.
Dynamut. Dog Wonder.
The original Scooby-Doo.
Based off the original Blue Falcon show, which had many crossovers with Scooby-Doo back in the 70s and 80s, Blue Falcon makes a return in this film, but not as the same titular character, but instead a metaphysical version of the character in that the Blue Falcon was a TV show in this timeline. So, Scooby and Shaggy and the gang go to Comic-Con to visit the Blue Falcon, an aged actor who played the show back in the 60s, in this case a parody of the original Batman show. Of course, problems occur when the Comic-Con is haunted by Mr. Hyde,
Spoopy.
Blue Falcon's arch enemy. So, the gang must decide who is who. Is it the original actor who played the Blue Falcon? Is it the actor that plays the Blue Falcon in the new Dark Knight reboot coming out? Blue Falcon, Revenge of the Revenge of the Revenge. Comes soon to a theater near you.
Transformers 5.
Starring Michael Bay.
Yeah.
He didn't direct it. He starred in it.
He starred in it.
He was...
no, he directed and starred in it.
You're right.
And was the screenwriter.
You're right. He was that sexy Transformer, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He got that CGI.
He couldn't hire anyone, so he did every role. It's a one-man show. Michael Bay, starring in Michael Bay, the movie.
He's just that good at CGI.
I know, right?
Yes, and on top of that, Mr. Hyde is destroying everything at this Comic-Con. And this is a cool Comic-Con, because everyone at this Comic-Con is dressed like classic Hanna-Barbera characters, and it's pretty good. It's a very good time. So Scooby and Shaggy take it upon themselves personally to solve the mystery of Mr. Hyde. And so they embark on a journey to clear the name of their favorite actor of all time, who is currently the #1 suspect, to the town's mayor, the police, and the rent-a-cops of the Comic-Con. So the gang investigate, and along the way meet a bunch of kooky characters who sort of steer them in the wrong direction, until eventually the gang are kicked off the case because Mr. Hyde is just too smart for their taste. So they are kicked off, but decide to solve it in secrecy by hiding in cosplay. Everybody's favorite pastime. Matt, have you ever cosplayed?
No, I haven't.
Neither have I. I would never ever cosplay.
I mean, it's expensive.
I also...
and really time-consuming.
Don't want to do it. I'll dress up for Halloween, but I won't cosplay. I have standards.
I mean, it's the same thing.
Is it, though? Cosplay is, like, more in public than Halloween is.
I mean, you guys go to Congress.
That's
true. Pretty public.
There's
There's a fair amount of people there who know who you are.
That's also true. It's all right. It's not like I'm going to Scooby-Doo for Halloween. I would never do that. I have standards. I would never do my do like that, if you know what I mean.
Do the do.
Now, the gang may be kicked off, but they decide to solve it in secrecy, and in the process of doing so, actually come to fighting a gigantic mecha robot controlled by Mr. Hyde.
Mechazord.
But when they defeat the robot, inside they unmask Mr. Hyde, who is indeed the Blue Falcon.
Clark Kent.
But something ain't right, because the man was knocked out and didn't remember getting in there. Turns out, everything was a huge ruse in order for the real Mr. Hyde to rob an armored car that carried all the proceeds from the Comic-Con.
It literally was a heist movie the whole time.
Yes.
In disguise.
He used Mr. Hyde as an effort to basically distract everyone with a bunch of different series of events in order to track down where the armored car's route was going to be. Because, that's totally humanly possible.
It's not public knowledge.
It is now. And so the gang discover the real Mr. Hyde, take him down, save the day, and unmask him. And who is it else but the Blue Falcon's next-door neighbor at every Comic-Con, his booth buddy, the guy I don't remember the name of, who battled with robots. BattleBots. Big Bad Beetleborgs.
Everyone remembers BattleBots.
Yes.
At least most people.
Yes. He was so sad when he was kicked off BattleBots that he eventually decided to just screw over his booth buddy and steal all the money so he could create his own BattleBots, because that makes complete sense.
Mm-hmm.
And so the gang saved the day and end up revitalizing the Blue Falcon franchise, so much so that the old actor who was crazy now joins the new actor as his father, the original Blue Falcon, in the new Blue Falcon movie, Blue Falcon 2, the revenge of the sequel, The Happening. Everybody's favorite movie.
Is that the prequel to the new Terminator movie?
Yeah, it was actually. Did you know?
Yeah.
Did you know the Terminator and the Falcon are the same person?
They're in the same universe.
Yeah, Blue Falcon and Freddy Falcon. They're brothers.
Yep, same thing.
I know. Our school could respect the Blue Falcon a little more, I think, but
Nah, our Falcon's green.
Yes. Green and blue.
They're rivals, actually.
Green and blue. Doing the do. And as such, it is time to rate this film as a mystery. It's whatever, but it plays pretty hard with the nostalgia factor. That alone, I give it a solid 7 out of 10 Scooby Snacks.
I give it a 10 out of 10 because I absolutely loved it.
Wow. That's a high praise coming from you.
I know.
High praise.
It was really good. I honestly had a fun time with it.
It is a fun movie. Most Scooby-Doo movies are fun, even though they are all the same.
They're literally like Godzilla.
Yes.
I'm calling you out. You know who you are.
But the difference between Scooby-Doo and Godzilla is that, if you didn't know this, Matt, Scooby-Doo is for everybody.
Scooby-Doo's not from Japan.
Yeah, Scooby-Doo's American, which means he's better.
Yup.
Yeah. Shout out to Godzilla.
Take that, weebs.
Never forget, Scooby-Doo can beat up Godzilla any day.
Yep. When's that movie coming out?
That already happened.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, the more you know.
It's a North Korean exclusive.
Oh. No, it was in that ape from Boo Brothers.
Oh, yeah, you right. You know, back in the 80s, the dictator of North Korea kidnapped a kaiju filmmaker from Japan and forced him to make kaiju movies exclusively for North Korea. And then the director...
Kim Jong-il?
Yeah. And then the director escaped barely with his life. And, yeah.
Did he have to cross, like, the DMZ?
I don't know, but he survived somehow.
Okay.
He did it.
What did he want him for? Did he want to make, like, really cool Godzilla North Korean films?
They wanted their own kaiju movies. They're lonely there. They can't exactly watch Godzilla.
They have 2 web pages.
Yeah, they do, actually.
They're like KimJongUnIsTheBest.com and Internet.com.
Yeah. Do you think they have nartflarks.net?
In media bias in high school, we learned that they actually have to smuggle in all their media, and it's actually like the most dangerous thing you could do. It's like more dangerous than drug trafficking.
Cool. God bless communism.
It's so weird. They're like, yeah, we used to slip CDs through the fence on the DMZ border. I'm like, just so they could listen to, like, some 80s rock and roll band or something, like some stupid cheap CD.
They risked their lives to listen to
AC/DC.
Yeah, to Paramore.
Paramore.
They love their Paramore. Yo, if Josh Miller, God bless his soul, our good friend Josh Miller, is listening, which he isn't.
My best friend Joshua Miller.
I know he would do whatever he could to get Paramore to the North Koreans.
He'd probably do a flyover.
Oh, yeah. Moving on, it's time for some news. Although in this case, it's a mixture of news and topics of debate.
We got any obituaries this week?
No, thank God.
I know.
Except for my career and soul and whatnot.
Oh.
Big rip. But that don't matter. Nobody cares about me. Anyways, This past week, we learned something a little interesting about Sesame Street, of all things. Now, as you know, Matt, Sesame Street is currently exclusive to HBO, not PBS, which is
weird.
The dumbest thing ever, because that is not the point of Sesame Street. And
the whole point was to be publicly broadcasted.
And the fact that people have to pay money for their kids to watch the most educational show ever.
What are they going to watch now? Teletubbies?
What are they going to watch now? Scooby-Doo? But
no, please.
The sad truth is that Sesame Street is then allowed new episodes to show up on PBS only 6 to 9 months after they air on HBO, which is ridiculous because that is how everybody.
But what about all the old episodes?
Well, I think they're allowed to show old episodes, but that's not the point.
I didn't even know it was still filming. Is Arthur still going?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's surprising. Actually,
I know. Well, Arthur just past summer had an episode where his teacher got married to a gay guy.
Mr. Ratburn?
Yeah, he's gay.
What?
And he got married.
Wow, the lore deepens. I haven't seen that show in the better part of 14 years.
I actually watched that episode after not watching it for like 16 years. I was never a big Arthur kid. I watched it, but it was whatever. But yeah, a 21-year-old watching Arthur about a gay wedding.
Every day.
Honestly, really good. I can see why I would want my kids to watch it. It was a pretty wholesome show. I'd be fine with watching it.
I remember
with my
being
kids.
mortified for the longest time about the computer virus episode.
I don't remember that one.
Where Arthur goes and downloads like illegal games on his mom's computer and they get a Trojan virus.
Jeez, that's one way to teach your kids about not using LimeWire or something.
I'm like, literally, it was around that time, I think.
Yeah, I know. I wonder why they wrote
maybe
it.
That's why that episode came out now that I think about it.
Yeah, so Sesame Street is currently only on HBO, but very soon it will no longer be on HBO, and instead it will be an exclusive on HBO Max, which is even more abhorrent than HBO, because it's a streaming service.
Wait, they have another one?
HBO Max is a marketing ploy. It's not actually HBO, it's just Warner Television.
So, but Warner already has cable.
I know, and they're just using them owning HBO as a means to.
But HBO already has a stream. Isn't HBO Go and like HBO Now or whatever it is?
Yeah.
So they have a third one?
Yeah, except it's not HBO, although they do have HBO shows. They're just calling it HBO to trick people to make it sound like it is HBO.
This is like when you go down the TV listings and there's like 5 different HBOs all showing something different.
Yeah. So, Sesame Street
Espanol
will soon be an HBO Max exclusive, which is absolutely disgusting because this is a show that kids need to watch. It is heartful, educational, wholesome, and more importantly, one of the few shows parents can actually tolerate and sit down for.
We got to smuggle it into the North Koreans.
Do you think if they watched Sesame Street, they would learn that communism isn't okay?
No, I honestly don't think any children's thing needs to be politicalized.
You say that, but we live in 2019.
Yeah, I know.
Anything can be politicized.
It's a sad state of affairs.
Yes, this is true. So it is my hope that whoever owns a Sesame Street will learn their lesson, because Sesame Street is a weird legal issue because it is created by the Henson Workshop, which is where the Muppets come from. And obviously the Muppets have been on the Sesame Street episodes many a times in the past, but they are no longer there because Muppets are Disney, whereas Sesame Street is not Disney. It is a weird legal issue, and it is just very sad and depressing.
Don't you love mega corporations?
Yeah, obviously I wouldn't want Disney to have Sesame Street, but I wouldn't want Sesame Street to be in the situation it is now. That is a PBS show, PBS Kids. That is what...
Is Elmo in the MCU?
Honestly, if Elmo became a superhero, I wouldn't be opposed to it, because Super Elmo is pretty cool.
I think Marvel needs to stop buying stuff.
They don't buy stuff. What are you talking about?
I mean, I think Disney needs to stop buying stuff.
Yeah, there you go. Disney does need to stop buying stuff.
Same thing.
It's all right. The last thing they bought was Fox. I think they're good for now.
Yeah, for now.
I think the only other thing they could try to buy that makes sense for them would be to try and get back any Marvel characters that Sony owns.
They could probably buy North Korea with the amount of money they have.
Yo, we gonna make North Korea the 51st state of America?
No, I don't want that.
Our economy.
That place is terrible.
Yeah, we'll fix it up.
No.
Once we put a McDonald's there, everything will be better. That's how you know you're doing good.
No, you can't do that because they never eaten anything.
Yeah, you're right.
You give them Mickey D's, they're going to go into cardiac arrest.
Oh, my God. That's actually... what's funny is that when McDonald's came to Asia, it hit Asia really fast. So Japan specifically started experiencing obesity because of it. Like, it just completely screwed their diets up.
I'm not
these
surprised.
are people who eat nothing but rice and a lot of seafood and very little meat. So you're introducing fatty meat into their diets, and it's like a staple now. And now there's fat kids in Japan and a lot of Asian countries, and it's because of McDonald's.
Let's get rid of fast food, Matt.
You know, I'd agree with you, but right now I'm really broke, and fast food is too cheap and
See,
delicious.
they got your claws in you.
I know.
You just got to go back to eating nothing but rice and beans.
Oh, that's not my people's staple food. That's Charles.
That's Charles.
Anyways, everybody, it is time for our very first commercial break. We're starting with a very terrible soundtrack from the live-action Scooby-Doo film. But whether or not you like the soundtrack, I don't know. It's a terrible movie. Terrible
Great
soundtrack.
movie. 10 out of 10 Scooby snacks.
Matt, you take that back.
10 out of 10 Scooby
Matt,
snacks.
stop. No.
10 out of 10 Scooby
Matt,
snacks.
Am I going to have to replace you?
No, you
I
can't
replaced
replace
the last
me.
co-host. I can do it again.
Can't replace me. I'm irreplaceable.
You're right. I love you too much. All right. Are you ready as I press the button and I press play? Here we go.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We got some things to do now. Scooby-Dooby-Doo, where are you? We need some help from you now. Come on, Scooby-Doo, I see you. Pretending you got a sliver. But you're not fooling me, 'cause I can see the way you shake and shiver. You know we got a mystery to solve, so Scooby-Doo, be ready for your act. Don't hold back. And Scooby-Doo, if you come through, you're gonna have a Scooby snack. That's a fact. Go! Scooby-Dooby-Doo, here are you. You're ready and you're willing. If we can get you to Scooby-Doo, I know we'll catch that villain. I know we'll catch that villain. Yeah!
This is who I am and this is what I like. GC, Sum, and Blink, and MXPX rocking my room. If you're looking for me, I'll be at the show. I can never find a better place to go until the day I die. I promise I won't change. So you better give up. I don't wanna be told to grow up. And I don't wanna change. I just wanna have fun. I don't wanna be told to grow up. And I don't wanna change. So you better give up. 'Cause I'm not gonna change. I don't wanna grow up. I'd like to stay up late, spend hours on the phone. Hanging out with all my friends and never being at home. I'm impolite and I make fun of everyone. I'm immature, but I will stay this way forever till the day I die. I promise I won't change. So you better give up. I don't wanna be told to grow up. And I don't wanna change. I just wanna have fun. I don't wanna be told to grow up. And I don't wanna change. So you better give up. 'Cause I'm not gonna change. I don't wanna grow up. I don't wanna be told to grow up. I don't wanna be told to grow up. I don't wanna be told to grow up. And I don't wanna change. I just wanna have fun. I don't wanna be told to grow up. And I don't wanna change. So you better give up. I don't wanna be told to grow up. And I don't wanna change. I just wanna have fun. I don't wanna be told to grow up.
I tried to say I'm sorry. Then she said these words of reverence. Please don't leave me hanging on and on. I see the light in your window. Look at the sky and we can go. Oh, get up, and I'm gonna pick you up and take you where I wanna. Get up, and I'm gonna pick you up and take you where I wanna. La 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 la. She sings these words to me. She sings these words to me. The summer sun is warm and you are everywhere. But sometimes it ain't that easy. I count the days till I see you again. You know I tried and I'm sorry. One night can make a difference. Please don't leave me hanging on and on. I see the light in your window. Look at the sky and we can go. Oh, get up, and I'm gonna pick you up and take you where I wanna. Get up, and I'm gonna pick you up and take you where I wanna. La 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 la. She sings these words to me. She sings these words to me. I see the light in your window. Look at the sky and we can go. Look at the sky and we can go. Oh, she says these words. She says these words. She says these words. She says these words. Get up, and I'm gonna pick you up and take you where I wanna. Get up, and I'm gonna pick you up and take you where I wanna. Get up. She sings these words to me. La 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 la.
Whether it's a natural disaster that devastates thousands or a home fire that affects a single family, the American Red Cross is there. Every 8 minutes of every day, the Red Cross responds to an emergency in a community like yours. Your support helps the Red Cross be there for disasters big and small. Make your donation today by calling 1-800-RED-CROSS or by visiting redcross.org.
Beautiful. This was very nice of you to say, Matt.
I know.
It was such a good message. I think it'll change my life forever.
You're going to call Red Cross?
Yeah, I'm gonna give all my blood. I don't want to live anymore.
They do more than that.
That's all I want to do.
Got to go work on the Jimmy Carter.
Anyways, time for our next review, Matt.
Okay.
Scooby-Doo. Stage Fright
Spooby.
is good. It's a good movie. So Fred and Daphne decided to join Talent Star, a.k.a. American Idol. They're a singing duo. They made it to the finals. Got to go to Chicago to an opera house where the finals are being held. Turns out the opera house is haunted by the Phantom.
Of the opera?
No, just the Phantom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Of the opera?
I wish. So basically the gang's like, all right, we'll solve the mystery for all y'all. And they're like, okay, who could it be? Clearly it's got to be somebody who wants somebody to win the competition, especially since one of their competitors, a little girl named Ariel Winter, that's the actress's name. Actually, her name is Christine, played by Ariel Winter, who is a very mean little girl. Her parents aren't much nicer either. The Phantom keeps saying Christine must win. Gee, I wonder who the Phantom is, Matt. I wonder.
It's the Phantom Gourmet.
Yeah. Oh, don't even. Anyways, on top of that, they got this suave midget dude who's a ventriloquist, and his dummy is twice his size. Very good idea, by the way. I loved it. They got Girlosaurus Rex, a hardcore rock band of girls dressed like dinosaurs. And then they got the Great Poutine. The Great Poutine.
The Great
a magician. And so the gang must be like, all right, which one of you is it? So they decide to do some investigating. And along the way, they discover the true meaning of friendship
Christmas.
and love, because turns out one of the biggest plot points in the movie is Fred and Daphne saying, I love each other. Except they don't actually say that to each other. Because why would they? Why would they? Because, why would they?
They gotta wait to do that up until Scooby-Doo's on the verge of getting canceled.
It's all right. They said it in Mystery Incorporated.
There you go.
This is a good show. Very good show. Now,
When we're gonna review that.
the whole show?
Yep.
Oh, I could go on that for like an entire show.
We gotta
That
make
is
we gotta make a whole
that
new
is
show.
a great show.
We gotta do a Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated analysis show.
I'll do it.
The Matt and Matt Mystery Incorporated. M&M and MC.
Hell yeah.
Or no, it'll be
Anyways,
MMMI.
the gang decide to do their investigating. Scooby and Shaggy travel around the town, eat a gigantic deep dish pizza, and break a whole world record in doing so. Cool.
Sounds like me and
In
Domino's.
the process, they meet a very nasty woman in the competition named Lottie Lavoie, voiced by Vivica A. Fox, a.k.a. the actress from Kill Bill and Independence Day and Batman and Robin and Independence Day 2. Very big actress in a Scooby-Doo movie.
Welcome to Earth.
Pretty cool. So she basically, takes her gigantic razor-sharp nails, a.k.a. the villain from the terrible Catwoman movie, and scratches her name into Scooby and Shaggy's flesh, because, that's totally legal.
Never forget.
And basically later that night, Scooby and Shaggy are like, all right, guys, we forgot to go to the library. We ate pizza instead. Also, we met this terrible woman. The other three are like, that's good. We found info on the Phantom. They did their research. Turns out the Phantom was around in the 70s when the place was a disco. And all was good and well until he destroyed the disco ball, and that's when people stopped coming. But everybody
ain't no
thought
disco
he was
without
a
a
part of the
disco ball.
show, so who knows what's going on. Anyways, later that night, the Phantom then attacks Scooby and Shaggy, and they must run for their lives. Meanwhile, Daphne is having an existential crisis on how she should tell Fred she loves him. And Velma's like, just talk to him. Been saying that for years. Just talk to him.
Just kiss the girl.
You gotta kiss the girl.
Brum, brum, brum.
Kiss the girl. That's a good movie. I can't wait for the live action one to be terrible. Anyways, the gang move on to solve the mystery and end up realizing, oh no, people are dropping out of the competition because of the Phantom. Oh no, whoever's behind it is getting exactly what they want. Then they meet the guy that owns the opera. He's like, yeah, I hate this place. I want to sell it. He runs away. I wonder who it is, Matt. I wonder who the Phantom is.
I wonder who it could be.
Meanwhile, Scooby and Shaggy are like, all right, instead of dealing with the Phantom, how about we get into Talent Star last-minute auditions? So they keep harassing the Talent Star host, played by the amazing Wayne Brady. Of course, he ends up running away from them every time. Gee, Matt, I wonder who the Phantom is.
I wonder who it is. In Scoobtober.
And then they keep running into this guy, the stage manager, who is a neat freak and smells like lemons. I wonder who the Phantom is.
I wonder who it could be.
Now, the gang continue investigating until they decide to set a trap. And then the Phantom shows up. And then they follow the Phantom into the sewers under the opera house, where they discover his lair. And in there, they discover the man himself, the Phantom from the 70s. But he's not actually a bad guy. He thinks he's ugly because the only mirror he has is a wavy clown carnival mirror.
The House of Mirrors trick?
Yeah, and it makes him look ugly, so he's like, I will only wear the Phantom mask in public. And then Daphne gives him a compact mirror, and he's like, oh, I'm foxy. So then he's like, nah, I'm not the Phantom that's heard in Talent Star. I don't even know what that stuff is. I'm just a cool dude. Being a dude.
Dude.
So the gang head up, and they end up catching the real Phantom, I guess, who is the guy that owns the opera. And he's like, yeah, I was going to burn it down for the insurance money. And they caught him. they found out who the Phantom was.
We did it before you could commit tax fraud.
So the gang then are like, all right, the show must go on. So they set the show up and all that, and then another Phantom shows up. And they catch it, and it's Christine's dad. Turns out Christine hatched a plan for her dad to scare everybody away so she could win. It didn't fly well with the voters. Nuh-uh. That ain't how American talent work. America's
Got Talent?
Yeah, I kind of combined it with American Idol. It didn't really work out in my favor, I think. So, he gets caught. Cool. That's the third Phantom they've caught. Then
The Phantoms of the Opera, the
Scooby
trilogy.
and Shaggy are like, wait a second. The Phantom smells like lemons? Like the stage manager? Oh no, the stage manager is trying to steal the giant diamond that's on display across the street?
Dun dun.
Oh no.
Who
So the
would've
gang
thought?
chase Dewey down across the streets of Chicago and end up almost dying on a bridge, but they save the diamond and Dewey falls into a trash barge. And he's got OCD. He's going to kill himself. So that's the fourth Phantom they've caught. That's a lot of Phantoms. Well, see, then they go back to the competition, and Fred and Daphne tie for first, so they have to do a knockout round against this little girl who plays violin, who is going to lose her family farm if she doesn't win.
That's such a sad tale.
So Fred and Daphne actually win, but then they throw the competition by telling terrible jokes that Scooby and Shaggy made up to get into the competition and end up losing, so the little girl can win and save the day. And then Velma's like, I got a DVD to play for y'all. And it shows the talent star host, Wayne Brady, dressing up as the Phantom to stir up a commotion. So that is the fifth Phantom they've caught. 5 different people are the bad guy.
They're going to start running out of room in the local jail.
Yeah. And then the original Phantom from the 70s is like, here, I'll be the new host of Talent Star. And he becomes the new host. And he finds a nice living for himself. So,
What a
all's
happy
well,
ending.
it ends well. And the film ends with a credit scene of Fred and Daphne telling their respective friends, I loved the other person. And then the friends go, just tell them, dudes. And then, in the car ride on the way to wherever they are going, Fred and Daphne are about to say, I love you. And then they find out there's a mystery, so the two of them use the mystery as an excuse to not say what they feel. Because that's how life works.
That is how it works.
And because of that, it's all done and over with. The mystery has ended. They saved the day. Stage Fright is a great movie. I give it a solid 9 out of 10 Scooby Snacks.
I'm going to give it 8.5 for an average of 8.75.
What are we, Game Informer?
Yes.
Game Informer's the only game...
We are Kotaku.
They are the only game review website I trust with all my dignity and heart.
Trust none of them.
I only trust Game Informer. Personally speaking, of course. Of course. Of course a horse is a horse? You know what I mean?
No.
No?
No.
Are you good?
Of course, of course, of course.
Okay, so Stage Fright's a good movie. I would highly recommend you all check it out. It's got some pretty sweet songs in it, and it's got a great cast. And the fact that there's 5 villains, pretty A1, I think.
A1 steak sauce?
Yeah, we got some in the suite, don't we?
Do we?
No.
I was going to say, I don't remember having steaks in there.
I wish we did.
Well, unless that time from Applebee's, but...
We can Applebee's.
Applebee's.
Applebee's. So, moving on, it's time for some movie news. In this case, The Matrix 4. Matrix 4 has added a couple more cast members, Matt. First up is Yahya Abdul III.
Why is there a 4th one again?
Because they're idiots.
I thought we wrapped everything up in 3.
Sure, it's okay. I don't know why.
Ah!
It's going to be bad, but I'm bringing the news anyways.
They gonna get Keanu Reeves?
Yeah, he's in it. And so is the chick that played Trinity. And Carrie M. Ellis, that's her name. And I believe Lawrence
Statham?
Fisher is returning as well.
What
Anyway,
has he been doing?
lots of
know?
stuff. And Jada Pinkett Smith is set to return, as well as mostly the other cast.
Nice.
Now, 2 new cast members. Yahya Abdul III, who many know is from one of the best episodes of Handmaid's Tale. He is currently on The Watchmen as a main character. I have not finished the first episode. I'm halfway through. It's okay so far. I gotta see more of it.
Is it
More
Gucci?
on that later. And he plays Black Manta in Aquaman and soon to be Aquaman 2. But
Electric
now
Boogaloo.
he's going to be in The Matrix 4. And siding with him in The Matrix 4 is one of the greatest actors of our generation. Do you know who it is, Matt?
Jason Statham.
No. Neil Patrick Harris is in Matrix 4.
I was gonna say Neil Diamond, but sure.
Yeah. Neil Patrick Harris, NPH. This is the first big thing he's done since Harold and Kumar Christmas, I think. I am very happy and excited to announce that he is going to be in the movie, and I cannot wait because he's basically the reason I now want to see the film.
I forgot he existed.
Yeah, he doesn't do much. He and the rest of the cast from How I Met Your Mother are living pretty solid. Although Kobe Smulders still does a ton of acting. The others kind of taking it easy, which is fair enough.
They're not passionate. They lack the passion.
They lack the passion.
The theatrical passion.
Yeah, I think you can put it that way. Anyways, it's time for some more musica. More musica from the Scooby-Doo movie and a song, in this case, Play That Funky Music, which was featured in Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed. Please enjoy.
10 out of 10 Scooby Snacks.
Because Scooby-Doo 2 has a huge 70s soundtrack, and it was actually the inspiration for James Gunn to do the same thing for Guardians of the Galaxy, because he chose the soundtrack for Scooby-Doo 2. So never forget, without Scooby-Doo 2, we wouldn't have Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh.
Yo and Scooby say, you know the Scooby and Shaggy in the house. Bow wow wow, Scooby Yo and Scooby say, you know the Scooby and Shaggy in the house.
In the van of mystery, making doggy history, rolling drop the 20s, so you better not be dissing me. Got a blinged out collar and an iced out chain. When I'm rolling down the block, yo, say my name.
Scooby Doo, y'all, Scooby Dooby Doo, y'all. Scooby Doo, y'all, Scooby Dooby Doo.
I said check 1 2 1 2 up on my Scooby mic. You never knew a dog on a mic would sound so tight. To my left, to my right. You never knew a dog on a mic would sound so tight. To my left, to my right. Give me Scooby Snacks and I'll be rapping all night. To my left, to my right. You never knew a dog on a mic would sound so tight. To my left, to my right. Give me Scooby Snacks and I'll be rapping all night. Light on my paws, snacks in my jaws. In my contract, there's a no cat's claws. Breaking out of bounds, running out of bounds. Hypnotizing Mars with the Scooby sound. Scooby is a dog that saves me. Scooby snacks are the way that he pays me. His crooks are just so crazy, and Shaggy is so lazy.
I think he dog, y'all. He won't fall, y'all. I'm with his main man Shaggy, standing tall, y'all. I give a Scooby call, y'all. Have a ball, y'all. Never fall, y'all. He's in it for the long haul.
To my left, to my right. You never knew a dog on a mic would sound so tight. To my left, to my right. Give me Scooby Snacks and I'll be rapping all night. To my left, to my right. You never knew a dog on a mic would sound so tight. To my left, to my right. Give me Scooby Snacks and I'll be rapping all night. To my left, to my right. You never knew a dog on a mic would sound so tight. To my left, to my right. Give me Scooby Snacks and I'll be rapping all night. To my left, to my right. You never knew a dog on a mic would sound so tight. To my left, to my right. Give me Scooby Snacks and I'll be rapping all night.
There's a chill in the air. You hear a creak on the stairs. You gotta lock all your doors. Is there anybody out? They're out to get you, to capture you and make you spellbound. tell me who's spooking who. It's very Scooby-Doo. You hear a shriek in the house. You know it's freaking me out. They're out to get you, to capture you and make you spellbound. Howling and prowling, you're shivering, quivering, spellbound. You cannot run and you cannot hide. Yeah, you gotta face it, baby. Things go bump in the night. Wherever you run and wherever you hide. Yeah, you gotta face it, baby. Things go bump, bump, bump in the night. You cannot run and you cannot hide. Yeah, you gotta face it, baby. Things go bump, bump, bump in the night. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. You know wherever you run and wherever you hide. Yeah, you gotta face it, baby. Things go bump, bump, bump in the night. You can't run, can't hide. Oh, yeah. You know wherever you run and wherever you hide. Yeah, you gotta face it, baby. Things go bump, bump, bump in the night.
There she is. See, you gotta go talk to her.
Leave me alone.
Just go talk to her.
Nah, man.
If you don't, I'm gonna talk to her for you.
Open up your mystery book to chapter 1, verse 3. The part about you and me. And the way our eyes met at the intersection that day, reflecting all the thoughts I had but never had to say. Cause you spoke up before I could look down. I would've passed by shy without a sound if you hadn't smiled and asked for the time. I said I don't wear a watch, you said you wanna wear mine. And that was it, photograph, click, click to the memory. You said walk me to class, I asked which one, replied chemistry. You was quicker than speedy, crazy fast with the flirt, and every word out your mouth had my heart pipes bursting. Knew from the jump I wanted more like thirsting, but didn't have a clue why a girl like you would want me. It's just a mystery. It's a mystery. Why a girl like you want a boy like me? It's a mystery. Why a girl like you want a boy like me? It's a mystery. Why a girl like you want a boy like me? It's a mystery. Remember our first date? I said I'd pick you up around 7, but I got there at 8 cause the train was late. I would've brought you a rose, but they don't grow in the park. I found a couple dandelions popping out the sidewalk though, and brought you them instead. I even got a magic marker and made the petals red. I took you to a club cause you said you liked to dance, but they wouldn't let us in cause I had paint on my pants. Damn, I thought I'd messed up royal. Tried to be the man, but my plan got foiled. So we sat on the curb and ate candy. Talked about Diddy's new joint with the family. Gently increasing your affection by the second with a little hand holding and a bit of cheek pecking. You told me in a whisper so quiet that we could go steady if I was down to try it. Right then I should've known you were serious, but even now your love is mysterious. It's a mystery. Why a girl like you want a boy like me? It's a mystery. Why a girl like you want a boy like me? It's a mystery. Why a girl like you want a boy like me? It's a mystery. Our love is a wonderful thing, no doubt about it. But sometimes love can make a girl feel crowded. And I don't wanna push you or ever disrespect your space with my face, so I gotta double check and make sure that everything is parallelograms. Peas on the carrots, candy on the yams, my lips on your hand, and everything is beautiful. So I can kiss from your wrist to your cuticles, dutiful. Without the pea kinda whipping. You say I'm cute, I still say you tripping. Cause didn't you tell me that opposites attract? And if I'm the cute one, you the opposite of that. And that's not the fact, or even close to black kosher. You the glass of champagne. I'm the stain on the coaster. If I'm a crumb, you the toaster. The butter to my bread, cause you always make the most of the situation. Like I'm rubber, you're glue, and if you say you love me, I'ma love you right back, boo.
The app glitched out. It was supposed to be played that funky music, but instead it was Earth, Wind, Fire, and Air, which is the better song.
It's still good. I'll take it.
Take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take it. Now, Matt, it is time for our next review of a not-so-stellar movie, Scooby-Doo and the WrestleMania Mystery. A beginning of course, the downfall of many good movies, I think. And, I'm just not going to play the funky music. Play that funky music again, play tonight. It made me angry. I'm sorry. I removed it from the playlist.
Oh, no.
Anyways, let me explain myself. I'm not a big fan of wrestling. I think it's pretty stupid, to be honest.
We'll tell Kevin on you.
Yeah, be my guest. There's other reasons why I don't like wrestling. But this movie is not my jam. I'll admit, the first time I watched it, I absolutely despised it. I didn't understand any of the references or the characters because they're all wrestling people and I don't know who they are. I didn't care. And plus I thought the monster, which is the Scare Bear, was the dumbest thing ever.
Like
the only
Care
thing...
Bear?
Yeah. The only thing I liked was that they teamed up with John Cena. I thought that was pretty cool. But I just didn't get anything else. I thought that all the little nuances they did with the other characters were pretty dumb. I think that they spent too much time having fun and games instead of solving the mystery, which was pretty lackluster because they very clearly wrote this just to show off the WWE characters because that's how WWE is in real life. So because of that, I think this movie kind of sucks. But the next time I watched it, it was with friends who actually understood wrestling, and they laughed at all the jokes, which made me laugh, and they even talked about what the jokes actually meant, which made me understand what they meant. And I'm like, okay. From a writing perspective, I get the movie better now, but it's still pretty bad. And it's just the first in a series of crossover movies that Scooby-Doo will do that are just not good. Don't worry, we're doing a second one later tonight that is much, much worse. Now, Scooby-Doo and the WrestleMania Mystery, not that good. And it's not even worth a full synopsis, to be completely honest with you, because it is literally Scooby and Shaggy win a contest to go to WrestleMania City to watch SmackDown Raw or whatever they do there. And they end up getting hypnotized and steal a belt, and then they unhypnotize to apologize. And then they basically are like, all right, we're going to wrestle the Scare Bear. Okay, Scooby wins the championship. That's cool. And that's basically the plot. And the villain was a guy named Cookie who trained the wrestlers, but he didn't want his nephew to become a wrestler because Cookie got injured when he was young as a wrestler. And so he basically became the Scare Bear to make his nephew not want to be a wrestler. Pretty stupid, if you ask me. The best part about owning it on DVD is that it comes with an episode of Pup Named Scooby-Doo where they face off against the Mad Cow, which is an old wrestler who was dressed as a cow. Sadly, it doesn't have the episode from What's New Scooby-Doo with the Twisted Terror, a wrestler who became twisted around and has two arms on one side. Pretty good episode, by the way, if you ever get the chance to see it. It's got a song by CIV in it. Scooby-Doo and WrestleMania Mystery, poop. I give it a solid 4 out of 10 Scooby Snacks just because I like John Cena.
5 out of 10.
4.
5 out of 10 for me.
4, and you better say 4.
5 out of 10 for me. So it's a 4.5.
It's a 4.
A 4.5.
Matt, no.
I'm telling you, it's a 5.
No. Anywho, let's move on to some news.
The live-action Scooby-Doo remakes.
No, if they ever do that again, I'll kill myself. So, Matt, the Batman is coming out in 2 years. It's going to have a lot of villains in it. Specifically, there are 2 villains that are in it that I want to discuss. And those villains, of course... What?
You are a new villain.
I wish I could play Batman villain. That'd be pretty A1. Not gonna lie. A1, Matt.
Sticks on.
A1.
You said that a lot tonight.
What?
You said that a lot tonight.
Pretty A1?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good line. So, we reported a couple weeks ago that Jonah Hill was in discussions to play the Riddler, which is true, but he dropped out of it. I don't know why. But an even better actor for the role, I think, was chosen, and that is Paul Dano, one of those amazing actors that just goes unnoticed by the general public because he's one of those guys you just know from the movie, but you don't know the name of. He played the horribly beaten, mentally dischallenged child, man, adult thing in Prisoners. He played the racist plantation worker in 12 Years a Slave. He played.
Oh, okay, I know who he is then.
He played the twins in There Will Be Blood, and he has been in many, many other movies. He's a fantastic actor, but he has kind of like a baby face to him and just a very young look, so he doesn't get taken very seriously, but he's a very good actor, and him playing the Riddler is just so amazing and a perfect casting choice, in my opinion. Now, on top of that, there was another role in the film that we know is in the film, but nobody's been casted in it yet. That is the Penguin. Josh Gad opened up about wanting to play the Penguin, and it seems he was in talks to play the character, but those fell through. But there's someone rising up asking to play the Penguin, and that is Jason Alexander from Seinfeld.
Oh.
Yeah. You know who he is, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Who also played the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Oh, God.
Quasimodo. Yeah, that's his name. Yeah, he wants to play Penguin. That is what he wants to do. That he wants that to be like his last big major acting role, and then he wants to retire. So, you know what? I'd say give it to him. I think he'd be a pretty good job at it. He looks like the Penguin. Give him a little makeup for the long nose. Be pretty cool. We'll see what happens. Batman comes out in June 2021, directed by Matt Reeves, starring Robert Pattinson in the titular role. Also starring Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman. And that theoretically a couple other people have been announced, like Paul Dano, and many other people are rumored for the film. So we will see where it goes. Wow, that was a huge mouthful, I must say.
Well, to take it off your mouthful, I got some news I know you didn't put in.
Oh, do you? Lay it on me.
So as we remember, the Sonic movie is a thing.
Sonic?
Everyone hated it.
It looked terrible. Well, this past week, they came out and released new images of their redesigned Sonic.
Yes, they did.
Did you actually plan to have this on the show?
No.
Okay, cool, because I was hoping you did.
It did.
He looks really good. Yeah, well, I won't say really good. He looks a lot better than what he did before.
Yeah, I mean, he still looks like garbage, and it's going to be a bad movie, but he looks better.
It looks like passable garbage. Like, it's garbage I'd be willing to pay to go see.
Yeah, for those who don't know, the original design they had, and you can look up the trailer, Sonic was far more realistic.
I'd say far more animalistic.
Realistic. He had very human-like eyes. He had human teeth.
Human hands.
Yes, he was just very animaloid.
It was very
humanoid.
It was anamorph.
Yeah, it was very disgusting and just an all-around terrible design.
It was very unsettling.
But God bless the team at Sega and the people making the film, especially the director, because the director was like, okay, we're going to push back our release date of November to February, and we're going to completely redesign Sonic.
And they went through the whole movie and redesigned him in every single scene, which I commend them for, because that is a bold move.
They made his eyes far larger in tune with what the game's eyes look like, and he just looks more like the
Sonic.
game. And because of that, I applaud their decision to do that, because not many film companies would do that.
Regardless of if the movie's good or bad, I will give them credit where credit is due. They decided to take the monetary hit and go out and fix it. You know, not even fix it, just, you know, do what they should have done in the first place. But
this
few and far between nowadays.
Is true. Moving on to our next review, this is of Scooby-Doo, Franken-Creepy. Probably one of the strangest Scooby-Doo films ever made. It is very, very weird, not just for its title's sake, but also in terms of just its writing and editing and just the way they do comedy in it. It's very unique in how they stylized it. And to give context, the first time I watched it, I was very weirded out by it. But after rewatching it very recently, I gotta say, it's really good.
Frankenweenie.
Obviously, Frankenweenie. So, to start off, the film opens up in a very humorous manner. Daphne has a vlog online called Jeepers, and she basically just talks about old cases the gang solved from the original show, including the episodes with Redbeard, Mamba Wamba, Old Iron Face, and the Ghoulie Ghosts. So all around, pretty good nostalgia from the get-go. Fun fact, actually had Casey Kasem's voice in some of those throwbacks. One of the last times he will ever hear his voice in a Scooby-Doo product, because he died around the time it was released, sadly. On top of that, the other gang members tune in by live streaming into it, and Daphne
Twitch
talks
TV.
to them. Funny enough, they're all sitting at the same table at a diner, which is pretty funny. And Daphne is also being stalked online by a bunch of people who want to watch her modeling photos. Fun fact. And a bunch of nerds tune into the show to try and watch her and probably touch themselves to her. Who knows? God bless them for making that joke in the film, because it was so necessary. Anywho, the gang are like, oh, we got a call by Velma's family lawyer, Crawley, who, for some reason, they don't realize is the same guy who was one of the Ghoulie Ghosts from the original episode. Who, okay, sure, gang, bad memory, but okay. So they get there, and he's like, oh, Velma, you inherited a castle from your family, the Von Dinkelsteins, which turns out are an evil family with a curse who created an ancient monster. So Velma's not too popular in the small town of Transylvania, Pennsylvania, where they have to go to inherit the castle. But when they leave the lawyer's home, the mystery machine is blown up by a bomb, and is done so by a man who considers himself to be the Baron, Velma's ancestor, and the bearer of the curse, who for some reason is wearing the old Iron Face's mask, because, you know, they didn't realize that either. So they have to take a train, and the train almost derails because the old Baron decides to blow it up and derail it. So somehow the gang save the day. They arrive in the small town of Transylvania, Pennsylvania, and they are greeted by the entire town, including the mayor and the chief of police and an old gypsy lady and the Velma's family's caretaker, I guess, and Igor, Velma's personal assistant, according to the family law. Every Van Dinkelstein needs a hunchbacked henchman, because that's not stereotypical or whatever.
Wow.
Wow. So they arrive and they are greeted by the town. They go to the castle. It's haunted, of course. They meet the monster that was created by Velma's ancestor, frozen in ice, of course. So the gang are like, oh, okay, whatever. So they decide to explore the castle a little more. Velma, meanwhile, is exploring her ancient laboratory where she is hypnotized to become crazy and lose her mind. More on that later. So, meanwhile, Daphne is force-fed a bunch of shellfish even though she's allergic, which makes her bloat. More on that later. So the gang decide that they're going to go explore the town festival of torches. Not Velma, of course, because she's being hypnotized and becoming an evil lady. So they explore the town. Scooby and Shaggy are given a pair of lederhosen, which have acupuncture points in them, which cause them to not be hungry and actually be brave. More on that later. And meanwhile, Daphne is starting to bloat from her shellfish allergy, but she's actually given a costume that has an inflatable device inside. So as she expands, the suit expands, but does not deflate when she deflates. So she thinks she gets fat, her hair gets all frazzled because of the allergies, and she thinks she's ugly and has lost her beauty. So she has an existential crisis. Meanwhile, Fred is sulking and crying all over town because the mystery machine is dead. So eventually, the gang piss off the townspeople, and the townspeople decide to chase them to the castle with a bunch of torches. Meanwhile, inside, once they get there, Velma has reawakened the creature, which is now rampaging throughout the castle. So the gang decide, oh, we gotta solve a mystery, but we're all a little crazy and have lost everything that makes us us. So Daphne runs into the Baron and ends up stumbling into an underground cavern with a massive natural gas deposit, which is apparently under the land of the town. Inside, she is trapped, of course, by the Baron, and Fred, meanwhile, has sulked so much he got lost in the castle and arrived in a tool shed where he decides to put his sulking to use and create a new mystery machine in the form of a horse carriage. And on top of that, he then saves Daphne from the Baron, and they get trapped in the cave. But while trapped in the cave, they are actually knocked out by the natural gas, that is, Freddy is. And Daphne has to bail them out by digging through all the rubble. But she ends up cutting her suit in the process and deflating it, learning that she was in a fat suit all along. Bum, bum. On top of that, Scooby and Shaggy have been captured by Velma, who is trying to extract their brains, because apparently with Scooby and Shaggy's brains combined, it equals one whole brain. Which sounds about right.
Unheard of.
No, science. So Scooby and Shaggy's clothes get torn off by Velma. Ooh. Which removes the acupuncture points, which makes them, 1, scared, and 2, very hungry. So, because of that, the two of them have to escape, which they do, and the monster also escapes. But, in the process, Velma gets unhypnotized, which is cool. So the gang reunite and discover that somebody's been messing with all of them, taking away all the things they love. The mystery machine, the hunger of Scooby and Shaggy, Daphne's beauty, and Velma's conscience and mind.
It was Matt Genderson.
I did it to make a good movie because it's a really good movie. So, in the process, Igor rescues them from the caverns, which is about to blow up from the natural gas deposits. And the castle itself then blows up. And the entire townspeople celebrate because the curse has been lifted. And of course, the chief of police, Velma's family's caretaker, the mayor, and the gypsy lady are celebrating especially. I wonder why, because they did it. I wonder why. So,
because the methane
the
leak is no
gang
longer
then
getting
decide
into
to
the
trap
water.
them and trick them by faking themselves as ghosts. And they trap these 4 people and discover they are actually old adversaries of them. The gypsy is actually Lila, one of the henchmen of Mamba Wamba, and a former pop star, by the way. The mayor is actually the man that was the ghost of Redbeard, Magnus whatever. Creepy crawly dude is actually the the chief of police, and he's like, I don't know how you didn't recognize me earlier. I thought it was pretty obvious. I only wore glasses, which apparently works because the power of Superman and Clark Kent. And then, finally, Velma's family's caretaker was none other than the lady that was old Iron Face. Cool. Turns out they were all playing as the monster, and they all decided to hypnotize the Scooby Gang into getting in the castle's caverns because they were going to blow them up, which they almost did. And then they get arrested because it turns out Igor was a midget inside of a midget mecha suit, and he's like, yeah, I'm the future wave of espionage because nobody notices midgets when they're sneaking around.
You got him there.
Yeah, so he's
Peter
like,
Dinklage looks normal now.
so basically, excuse me, he arrests them, and then Velma's like, why didn't y'all just like buy the land, which you did, and then sell it because you bought natural gas with it, which is worth hundreds of millions of dollars. And then the bad guys are like, oh, we got greedy for revenge, not money. And then they go to jail. And then the film ends with the gang happy because they have the mystery machine rebuilt and they're happy again and they're on to the next case. In the process of the credits, though, there are credit scenes. One of Daphne's creepy fanboys is pointing out all the continuity errors in the film. Like how when Scooby and Shaggy lose their lederhosen, they magically now have their clothes back. And he points out that when the gang arrive in the town, they blew up a clock tower, but the clock tower is then magically fixed. And he points out that they blew up a train, but then the train is magically well again at the end of the film.
I like that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, because for those who don't know, many TV shows and animated films and whatnot all have continuity errors in their animation, whether it be different costumes being worn in the scene or whatever. It's just something that happens. It's not a big deal. But he points it out. And then the midget from earlier who played Igor and saved the day and arrested everyone, then arrested the kid, and all the FBI agents swarm his house and basically destroy all of his computers and evidence. Conspiracy theories.
I think
are real.
Scooby-Doo is just a mass conspiracy.
It is. So at the end of the day, Frank and Creepy is a very strangely written film. It has a lot of cool editing that mimics Edgar Wright's fast cuts, similar to Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead and stuff. If you know what I mean, you know what I mean. If you don't, it's okay. And they mimic it in a lot of their jokes. So, excuse me. Specifically, there's a moment where Fred is constantly remembering the Mystery Machine is dead, and when he does, he imagines it blowing up again. And then Scooby and Shaggy aren't hungry at a point in the film. So then it flashes to opera woman singing, and the best one, of course, Satan is in hell, and then hell freezes over, because, you know, the phrase, that'll be the day hell freezes over.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Scooby and Shaggy aren't hungry, which is when hell freezes over. So that's
The prophesized day is
pretty
coming.
good joke. Pretty good jokes in the film. Very good film. I give it a solid 10 out of 10 Scooby Snacks.
Yeah, I'd give it a 9 out of 10.
Now, you didn't even watch it.
Yeah, I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I read the synopsis.
You ditched me, you baby.
I give it a 9 out of 10.
Fine. 9.5 is a solid rating for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good movie. Very.
Nothing is perfect, Matt.
Matt, with that logic, we're not allowed to get 4 O's in multi-camera television
I'll take
production.
a 3.9.
That's not a rating.
3.9?
It's not a rating, Matt.
3.9.
Okay, moving on. It's time for more superhero movie news. Specifically, a bad sequel in the form of Venom 2. This week, Venom 2 casted its major villain, who I hope is the main villain and does not share the spotlight with Carnage, because if Carnage is the main villain in Venom 2, it's going to be even worse than I think it is.
I mean, he is.
He's not. I think Cletus Cassidy will be in it in a bigger role, but it will not be Carnage, which is what I want. I want them to build him up for a Venom 3. Because Venom 1 was really bad, by the way.
I feel like Carnage is going to be in it.
No.
I get that feel.
He'll get the symbiote at the end or in a credit scene.
I get them vibes.
No, instead
They
villain
bring back Tobey Maguire.
The villain from the looks of it will be Shriek, a female symbiote. And also, fun fact, Carnage's girlfriend, basically.
Oh.
And they casted Shriek in the form of Naomi Harris, a.k.a. Calypso from the Pirates of the Caribbean films, and Miss Pennyworth, or Moneypenny, whatever it is, from the current James Bond films. So, pretty good casting. We'll see where it goes. Venom 2 comes out, theoretically, next year in October. No confirmed date, though, because they're keeping it top secret for some stupid reason, because they think they're smarter than they are.
Then they put Tom Holland in it.
Anyways, time for a commercial break. Time to finish up the Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed soundtrack for y'all. It's a riveting time here on Sidereel, celebrating...
Scoobtober!
Darn right.
Can you leave me here alone now? I don't want Here we go. Here we go. Everybody's gonna get down. Let's go. Here we go. Here we go. Everybody's gonna get down. Let's go. Back up, man. You're out of control. You're stressed out at full throttle. Got so many problems, I don't need more. I'm with my friends, we just wanna roll. Right on through to the other side. Right on through, we will never hide. 'Cause this is our town to ride in. Our Chevy will glide. Here we go. Here we go. Everybody's gonna get down. Let's go. Here we go. Here we go. Everybody's gonna get down. Let's go. This is our plan, understand. We're blasting out music from a foreign land. Reggae and soul, punk, rock and roll. Boombox, radio. So much music we don't wanna drop. With all this music we'll never stop. Bam! Non-stop night spots. Non-stop night spots, night spots, non-stop. Here we go. Here we go. Everybody's gonna get down. Let's go. Here we go. Here we go. Everybody's gonna get down. Let's go. Here we go. Here we go. Everybody's gonna get down. Let's go. Here we go. Here we go. Everybody's gonna get down. Let's go. I've been to London, Osaka, New Orleans, and back to Brooklyn. I've been to Nevada, been to Stockholm, Sacramento, Fresno. I've been to Oakland. It's not about flexing or starting a fight. It's not about who's wrong or right. It's all about hanging with your friends tonight at 7-Eleven every day and night. Here we go. Here we go. Everybody's gonna get down. Let's go. Here we go. Here we go. Everybody's gonna get down. Let's go. Here we go. Here we go. Everybody's gonna get down. Let's go. Here we go. Here we go. Everybody's gonna get down. Let's go.
Just when I thought I had to make it alone, you were right there by my side, making a stand, holding my hand the way you do. Then to remind me about me and you. When I'm with you, all my fears
listening to Sidereel celebrating Scoobtober on WXPL 91.3 Fitchburg State Radio, and we have a special message for you all.
Very, very special. People are always talking about the stock market, always looking to invest in a good opportunity, something with potential to grow. So what if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock of social change. A whole new kind of investment, called Better Futures from UNICEF. Your investment can help students go to college, which ends up making a future better for everyone. Visit unicef.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. A message from UNICEF and the Ad Council.
Bootyful, Matt. Bootyful.
Thank you.
Moving on to our next review of a fantastic Scooby-Doo movie. This was one of the ones I was kind of indifferent to when I first watched it. And then it was because Boomerang only plays the same five Scooby-Doo movies week after week. And it was one of the ones they played. So I had Boomerang on the background, and I just kept watching it because I had it on the background, and I was doing other stuff. And I came around to it. Honestly, pretty good movie.
Sounds like Stockholm Syndrome.
It's called Scooby-Doo Moon Monster Madness. If you couldn't tell, they go to the moon as astronauts. The gang win a contest to go to an eccentric billionaire's Moon Hotel, which is currently operated by his twin brother. The billionaire is also voiced by Malcolm McDowell, fun fact, so that's really cool. Along the journey, they are joined by a robot created by the billionaire to act as the servant to everyone. He makes terrible jokes and has awkward long pauses between his punchlines. It's pretty funny, which I know me explaining it does not do it justice. They are joined by other celebrities who are there to give the moon its dues.
Yeah.
Did you like my thing?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's Scooby-Doo's.
Yeah. Anyways, along the way, they basically fly into space. Daphne beforehand failed her driver's exam, and so she's really depressed, but, she's excited to go to the moon. I mean, who wouldn't? I'd be pretty excited. Along the way, they basically meet the other passengers aboard the ship, who are, of course, the two astronauts, Colt Steelcase and Zip Elvin, voiced by Jeff Bennett and Mark Hamill, and U-Boat, a football player, voiced by the amazing Kevin Michael Richardson, one of my favorite voice actors. Blah. So, the gang get to the moon, and they discover there's a xenomorph there, an actual xenomorph. And so another passenger on the ship named Ripley, of course, is like believing in aliens and stuff. And she's like, that thing's going to kill us all. And then the first female astronaut ever, or to walk on the moon or whatever they said she was, she's like, no, we're all going to live. It's going to be great. So they're all good. They get to the moon hotel. The xenomorph chase Shaggy and Scooby around. Everybody's kind of freaking out because they're like, oh, it's stealing our oxygen. Oh, it's making a bomb. Oh, there's no more food. Oh, we're all going to die. But they capture the xenomorph, who turns out to actually be the female astronaut, voiced by the amazing Jennifer Hill, I forget the real name of her, who's been faking everybody out because she is angry that people have forgotten who she is. So she decided to become the xenomorph, trick everybody, and she traps everyone in the space station and plans to blow them all up. And then she'll return to Earth and be the sole survivor. She'll make millions off the books and the movies and the TV shows and the video games and stuff that she'll be in. She'll be a legend.
No one will ever stop me.
The gang and their new friends break out and escape and get on the spaceship. And they get back to Earth. And it turns out they saved the day. The baby girl got arrested. I almost said a bad word. I almost said it. I saved myself, though. I got in the mood. I was too hyped, Matt.
Came really close.
I came really close. I got
to get this show taken off the air.
I got so in the moment of Scooby-Doo saving the day again, I almost said a bad word, but I did it. Scooby-Doo will reprimand me later because I'm a bad boy.
Say it.
I'm a bad boy?
No. Say what you're going to say.
I'll say it on the commercial break. Anyways, in the credit scene, Daphne passes her driver's exam, and she almost crushes the Mystery Machine, basically. Cool. They save the day. Moon Monster Madness, a very fun movie, good time, cool cast of characters, great comedy. I give it a solid 8 out of 10 Scooby Snacks.
I have to give it an 8.5.
So 8.25? That's a pretty
I'm
good
going to give it an
rating.
8.35 to make you do the math.
What?
Got to do the mathematics.
Cool. Moving on to our next bit of news. Before we mentioned Naomi Harris was cast as Shriek for Venom 2, and that she plays Moneypenny in the current James Bond films. Well, it turns out she might be getting her own spin-off film as Moneypenny. Director Barry Jenkins, who has directed Moonlight and Widows, has come out to say that he would love to make a spin-off film, and Naomi Harris agrees that she would love a spin-off film. So we might be seeing the very first James Bond spin-off movie ever very, very soon. Could be good. Who knows? Barry Jenkins hasn't made a bad movie yet. I have the utmost confidence in them. Cool. Moving on.
Wow.
It is time for... What? Hang on.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. How professional.
I know. We're doing so good. In the meantime, because I kept forgetting to plug it, feel free to call in, talk about Scooby-Doo with us. We're pretty chill people. Our number is 978-665-4848. That is 978-665-4848. Were you about to add on?
978-665.
48.
48.
40, 40, 48.
That's a lot of numbers, man. That's too many.
Did I delete my thing? Yes, I did, because I am a stupid boy. Ba-da-da-dum-dum-dum-dum-da-da-da-dum. A-dum-dum-dum-dum. I got it back, yay. All right. We're going to go on another commercial break, everybody.
The last one of the night.
Might be the last one. Might be the second to last. Not sure yet. Depends on how everything works out for our timing. But in the meantime, we got a song from Scooby-Doo and the Loch Ness Monster by a Boston band known as the Young Dubliners. We got some Smash Mouth and some Simple Plan with 2 songs featured in Scooby-Doo. What's new, Scooby-Doo? Where are you? We got some work to do now. And for funsies, we'll add in a nice short Ramones song also featured in What's New, Scooby-Doo. Enjoy, everybody. Good songs. Ahoy.
Was early in November, the leaves were on the ground. I couldn't get up, I just gotten down.
it should be clear, I won't be going back there any day. You filled me with worry, you filled me with fear. I didn't stand still and I came over here. I'm on my way, I can't take it no more. So brown dog barking at the back door. 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 One, two, three, four.
We need a new planet. You were a rock, but I took you for granted. Ain't that a shame? Ain't it a sin? We had too much baggage when our ship came in. And like a laser beam, you're never what I'm seeing. I oughta better my best behavior. I can't deny, 'cause I lit the fire in the twist of fate, which is gonna burn anyway. Without you, it's no fun. It's like a total eclipse of the sun. Without you, it's no wonder. It's like a total eclipse of the sun. It's just the time of the season. I'm getting tongue-tied facing my demons. But I'm free, 'cause I want you to be. But the twist of fate bridge is gonna burn anyway. Without you, it's no fun. It's like a total eclipse of the sun. Without you, it's no wonder. It's like a total eclipse of the sun. We need a new planet. You are a beach, but I told you to can it. You weren't the only pig in the pen. We had too much baggage when our ship came in. Without you, it's no fun. It's like a total eclipse of the sun. Without you, it's no wonder. It's like a total eclipse. It's like a total eclipse. Without you, it's no fun. It's like a total eclipse of the sun. Without you, it's no wonder. It's like a total eclipse of the sun.
Another day is going by. I'm thinking about you all the time. But you're out there and I'm here waiting. And I wrote this letter in my head, 'cause so many things were left unsaid. But now you're gone and I can't think straight. This could be the one last chance to make you understand. Yeah, I'd do anything just to hold you in my arms, to try to make you laugh understand, and I just can't let you leave me once again. Yeah, I'd do anything just to hold you in my arms, to try to make you laugh, 'cause somehow I can't put you in the past. I'd do anything just to fall asleep with you. Will you remember me? 'Cause I know I won't forget you.
I close my eyes, and all I see is you.
I close my eyes, I try to sleep, I can't forget you.
Na na na, na na na,
And I'd do anything for you.
na na na, na na na.
I'd do anything just to hold you in my arms, to try to make you laugh, 'cause somehow I can't put you in the past. I'd do anything just to fall asleep with you, to fall asleep with you, yeah.
I'd do anything
To fall asleep with you.
I'd do anything.
There's nothing I'd want
I'd do anything.
to fall asleep with you.
I'd do anything.
'Cause I know I won't forget you.
We're back. It's time to finish this off.
Finish him.
Shut up, Matt. Did you like my high-pitched squeal? It's reminiscent of a real person. Do you know that?
The Moonless Watchman?
The moonless watchman rains down his rain of wisdom upon the people that watch Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
Oh, God.
I just gave Matt PTSD memories. Anyways,
Well, I think it was a little bit
we got
worse
two
than
more movies to quickly review for you all tonight. Starting with Scooby-Doo meets Kiss and the Rock and Roll Mystery, a god-awful movie. It starts with Jay and Silent Bob, no joke, Jason Mewes and Kevin Smith playing Jay and Silent Bob, who aren't actually Jay and Silent Bob, fixing up the Kiss amusement park with roller coasters and everything. But the Crimson Witch from an alternate dimension attacks them. So when Scooby and the gang arrive, they meet Kiss. Turns out Kiss is also a band of mystery solvers, pun intended. And the two bands of mystery solvers decide to team up to find the Crimson Witch. In the process, the Kiss reveal they have something called the Black Diamond, which they take on every single tour with them, specifically for when they perform Detroit Rock City or whatever that song is called. I'm completely blanking on it. But they reveal that the gem is actually from an alternate dimension where the Crimson Witch is from. Because it turns out Kiss is from an alternate dimension where everybody looks like Kiss. And the Crimson Witch is an evil goddess there. And the Kiss are the guardian angels of the Black Diamond, which the Crimson Witch needs to become an all-powerful being. So Scooby and the gang are like, oh, guess we're going to an alternate dimension. So they ride on Kiss's space guitar ship to the alternate dimension where they fight the Crimson Witch for the fate of the universe, and they win. Turns out the entire gang and the Kiss were just drugged by the Crimson Witch, who was actually the security guard at the park. And she drugged them. So the entire movie is this, just the gang tripping on drugs, imagining themselves and Kiss on a groovy cartoon movie adventure into an alternate dimension. It's bad.
I was
really
going to say
bad.
this literally sounded like an acid trip.
Because it is. Whoever wrote this script was doing so many drugs.
Must
and
have
they
actually
should
been on
definitely
acid.
be fired for ever thinking this movie was okay. It's bad, poorly written, not funny. Kiss is poorly utilized, and the film ends with Kiss riding away on a space guitar ship in reality, and Scooby and Shaggy are like, should we tell the others? And then they're like, nah, we don't want to rock their world, pun intended. Bad movie, bad writing. The fact that it's getting a sequel is stupid. I believe it'll be coming out next year. The next official Scooby-Doo movie coming out is Scooby-Doo in King Arthur's Court.
Monsters Unchained.
So, the Kiss sequel is confirmed, and I believe it will be released the next year in the fall. It's going to be bad, probably, too. Unless it's better, because it's pretty hard to be worse than this film. This one was just bad, and bad. I pity the fools that watch it. I give it a solid... I'll give it a 2 out of 10 Scooby Snacks just because I like Kiss.
I was going to say, I was going to give it a 2.
All right. Glad we came to that conclusion. Okay. So... are you ready to move on, Matt?
I'm ready.
Okay. So, Jared Leto plays the Joker.
Jay Leno.
Jared Leto.
Imagine Jay Leno is...
Jared Leto was the Joker, but no more is he the Joker.
Nope.
Because he's like, oh, they gave Joaquin Phoenix a movie. Remember when I was supposed to get my own movie and when my character got screwed over by the studio? Wow, you're all being stupid meanies. I quit. So he's out as Joker. He no longer wants to play the part. And I doubt he'll ever be able to come back. So
After a
boo-hoo.
hissy fit like that, probably not.
I mean, his Joker was fine. That's the sad part. Like, it really is.
It was fine, but I honestly feel like they could do better.
Yeah, like, it was just poorly directed and poorly utilized. And I truly believe he could have done good. So, you know, whatever.
C'est la vie.
C'est la vie, indeed, Matt. Now, moving on, we have our final review of the night for this garbage movie.
Welcome to Garbage Scooby-Doo Movies,
Lego
the broadcast.
Scooby-Doo Haunted Hollywood.
Hotel Transylvania.
I would prefer that over this any day, and that movie's terrible. Yeah, it's a Lego movie. Not the kind you see in theaters where they actually look like Legos. It's the 3D animated Lego movies that are really bad.
You think they had the budget to do that?
I don't know. It was so stupid. I don't know why it had to be Lego. It could have just been a real Scooby-Doo movie and no problems necessary.
What year was this? Out of curiosity.
2016, I think.
Was that around the time of the Lego movie?
It was after.
It was like, what, 2 years?
Yeah, that's probably why.
That's probably why.
But basically, the film opens up really good. It starts with the gang solving a mystery from What's New Scooby-Doo, specifically the haunted lighthouse keeper. It's the same mystery, like the same lighthouse, same location and everything. They capture the monster, who's the creepy lighthouse keeper, and it's actually the Velma ripoff from the show, just like the show. And everything's really cool. I'm like, oh, wow, they're referencing it? Really cool. And they're like, okay, gang, let's go back to Crystal Cove, our hometown, the main setting piece from Mystery Incorporated. So I'm like, cool, they're mixing together Scooby-Doo references. All right, cool. Then it just devolves into a garbage film made of Lego gags and a bad plot. And I honestly couldn't tell you any other references they made because I was so totally tuning it out. It's a bad movie. Didn't need to exist. And I don't use that lightly, but it didn't need to exist. Bad movie. I give it a very, very solid 4 out of 10. No, 3 out of 10 Scooby Snacks just because they make really good references. And the opening is fantastic.
2 out of 10.
Fair enough. I can't blame you. I would have given it a 2 out of 10.
2.5.
2.5? Dang.
She's get the grease.
That's true, actually. All right. We got one final bit of news tonight, and I was saving this one for special last. Barney is getting a movie.
Stop.
The big purple dinosaur will finally make his big comeback after his show ended abruptly in 2011 because nobody knows why it was ending. People say it's because the actor was on drugs and he molested children, and those are all rumors. None of them have actually been proven true, although I can believe any of them, to be completely honest with you.
If any of them were true, I'm sure it would have ended up in court and we would have heard about it.
Yeah, you're right.
It was 2011.
Yeah. Barney's coming back to the big screen in a brand new film. Nobody quite knows the manner it'll be done. They don't know if it's going to be, him in the same costume. They don't know if it's going to be CGI. They don't know if it's going to be animated.
It's a Lego movie. Lego Barney.
The person making it is quite interesting. The person who pitched it and is primarily producing it and will most likely star in it is Daniel Kaluuya, the guy from Get Out and Black Panther, nominated for an Oscar.
Kaluuya? I love that
Kaluuya,
drink.
yeah. He wants to make it because it was apparently a big part of his childhood growing up, and he's like, I'd be honored to make it. I'm like, cool. Barney was pretty big for me as a kid, too, until I grew out of it at, the age of 6. Of course, I had 2 little Barney stuffed animals I took with me everywhere.
Where's our Between the Lions movie?
I don't know, man. So basically, Barney's getting a movie with an undisclosed date. In a similar fashion, Margot Robbie is making the Barbie movie. So honestly, this is pretty cool. I'll be interested to see where it goes. And honestly, if Barney could make a comeback in the days where Sesame Street will no longer be readily available to the public, I am all for it, to be
I was going to say,
honest.
something's got to fill that void, man.
Yeah. So good on Daniel Kaluuya for doing something great with his time and life. And hopefully he will be in Black Panther 2, which he is not confirmed for quite yet. On that note, everybody, I just want to say thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for tuning in. I know Matt feels the same way.
I always feel. I love our viewers and our listeners.
Yes.
I wish y'all would call in more, but other than that.
Yeah, we actually, over our last commercial break, somebody called in. Dead, probably wrong number. I answered. They didn't say anything. No breathing either, which is kind of creepier when you think about it.
It's the jellyfish episode from SpongeBob.
Yes, it is. So, my point is, thank you for tuning into Scoobtober. We have one more week ahead of us with 6 more movies to go. I know, it's sad. And, fun fact, 2 of those movies I've never even seen. The second Lego one, which I'll probably hate, and the latest Scooby-Doo film, Return to Zombie Island, which I hear is absolute garbage and a disgrace to the original. So I can't wait to see it for what it really is.
And join us for a special midnight event where Matt alone reviews the live-action Scooby-Doo movies.
Oh, at midnight?
Yep.
Yes, next week you can tune in for Scooby-Doo and WWE Curse of the Speed Demon, a sequel, which I personally prefer to the first one because I think it has better character development. Shaggy Showdown, which is a Western and also deals with Shaggy's ancestor. Ooh. Lego Scooby-Doo, Blowout Beach Bash, the one I've never seen. Scooby-Doo and Batman, The Brave and the Bold. A crossover with Batman, The Brave and the Bold, a TV show from 2009 to 2012, I think it was. Very good show. It's definitely more of a Batman, The Brave and the Bold movie than a Scooby-Doo movie, but a very good movie nonetheless. Scooby-Doo and the Gourmet Ghost, his crossover film with...
Phantom Gourmet?
No.
Dang.
With that one celebrity chef that I absolutely
Martha
hate.
Stewart.
No.
Snoop Dogg.
No. Hang on, I'm looking it up.
Emerald.
Because I wish Emerald was in it. Oh my God, bam, bam, wham, wham.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, that's gonna bother me.
Who was it? Was he on Food Network?
Yes, he was on Food Network.
Was he the Anton Brown?
No, Bobby Flay.
Bobby Flay. All right, there we go.
And it also stars other celebrity chefs such as Giada De Laurentiis, Bobby Flay's mistress,
Corbin Ramsay.
Marcus Samuelson,
I know him.
Maya Hale, and I believe they're the only celebrity chefs in the movie. Or whatever.
Scooby on Chopped.
Yeah. And then, of course, this year's 2 Scooby-Doo films, Curse of the 13th Ghost and Return to Zombie Island. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. We'll be back next week for the final week of Scoobtober. Matt might be a little late, or he'll skip it altogether because
I don't
he's
know.
a loser.
We got some filming to do next week, and honestly, I don't know. It depends on what time.
All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Farewell.
I'm gonna cry.